Hello? This is all right. Assalamualaikum and a very good day to everyone. Attention to UKM students. Please scan the QR code in front of your screen right now to fill in the Google form to complete your registration. Now, just to be clear, only UKM students are required to scan the QR code in front of your screen right now. Now, I would also like to remind all the participants in this meeting room to mute your microphone throughout the session to reduce disturbance. Your attention and cooperation are highly appreciated. Thank you. Assalamualaikum and a very good day to everyone. Attention to UKM students who are not the participants. Please scan the QR code in front of your screen right now to fill in the Google form to complete your registration. I would also like to remind all the participants in this meeting room to mute your microphone throughout the session to avoid disturbance. Now, your attention and cooperation are highly appreciated. Thank you.
Recording in progress.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day to everyone. Attention to UKM students. Please scan the QR code in front of your screen right now and fill in the Google form to complete your registration. I would also like to remind all the participants in this meeting room to mute your microphone throughout the sessions to reduce the disturbance. Your attention and cooperation are highly appreciated. Thank you. All right. Okay, so sorry for the very awkward silence. There's some technical issues going on in the background. Now, Assalamualaikum and a very good day to all. Welcome to the second slot of the Healthcare International Cultural Explorers, also known as HICE. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like tonight is going to be the night. It just have the vibe that tonight is the best night for us to talk about this forum, for us to have this forum. Now, I hope everyone is as excited as I am because the questions that I provided are very juicy, very scandalous, very much informative for all of us. And I'm really excited actually to hear what our fellow panelists bring to the table and how they answer my very much scandalous question. Now, before we get a little bit too excited with the scandalous agenda, let me introduce myself. I know it's a little bit overwhelming, right? Now, my name is Nur Aisha Sofia binti Hassan. You guys can call me Sophie, and I will be your moderator for tonight. Thank you so much for being here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let me take a breather for a minute here. Quite nervous actually, but okay. After I'm done with giving the introduction, let's go. Let me clarify what is the purpose of today's forum. What is the purpose of HICE? And after that, I will also introduce our fellow panelists for tonight. All right. For those who have not heard about this program before, HICE is a program which holds the concept of knowledge exchange regarding the global health and international culture with local and university students. Without further ado, let me introduce our fellow panelists for today. All right. Now, actually, ladies and gentlemen, we have panelists from amazing countries, one of them being the host country themselves, which is Malaysia. Next, we have Japan. Now, I know that's a lot of countries. However, I promise you, there's going to be a lot of information as well. So I hope all of our viewers are prepared to turn your brain into a sponge to absorb all the information that you can in tonight's forum. Now, let's go to the actual topic of our forum today. Now, our forum topic for today, ladies and gentlemen, is cross-culturalism. What is inside the world? Now, that is a very bombastic way. What is the meaning of cross-culturalism? And what are the questions that we are about to discuss tonight? Now, let me just give a little bit of background about cross-culturalism. As we all know, right, ladies and gentlemen, every country has their own unique culture that identifies the group of people within that country. Now, what is the exact definition of culture itself? Culture is defined as the customs and the beliefs, the arts, the way of life, and the social organization of a particular country or group. Now, I think all of us can agree that in this modern day, the topic of culture is becoming trending in social media, actually. And we may see people promoting their own culture or even other people's culture on social media, promoting it to their followers and put it up on the internet. And one of the most impactful example of social media that actually help cross-culturalism all over the world is TikTok. Now, I think everybody knows about TikTok, right? I think a few months back, there was this viral trend on TikTok where an African food craze happened, where everyone from different ethnicities, background, races, all of them on TikTok decided to discover and enjoy African cuisine. Now, I myself, being a Southeast Asian, right? I am not really familiar with African cuisines, actually, I admit that. But then because of this trend that went viral on TikTok, I know what a fufu is now. I know a lot of African delicacies are quite similar to Southeast Asian delicacies, actually. Now, that is very interesting, right, ladies and gentlemen? So I think everyone can agree that social media definitely plays a vital role in creating this cross-culturalism. Now, what is cross-culturalism exactly? Cross-culturalism is a concept that recognizes the differences among people from different nations, backgrounds, ethnicities, and the importance of bridging and connecting them. So basically, cross-culturalism is let me give you guys some let me give you an example, right? So let's pretend that two of my hands are two different culture. Now my right hand is culture A, and my left hand is culture B. Now, what is the first thing that you think of when I say cross? It's an X, right? It is cross is an X, right? So you take your two hands, I take my two hands, and then cross it together, and you could see there is an intersection in both of those hands, and that intersection is basically the bridge that connects these two people from different backgrounds. That is exactly what we are trying to create in today's forum. We are trying to share our culture, our own culture, and then maybe we can understand more about other people's culture as well. Now, that's for today's forum. I hope that we actually might have a chance to create these cultural bridges, ladies and gentlemen. All right, enough with the very lengthy explanation, but I just really want you guys to understand why this forum is very important for us to have. Now, let's move on to our first question, ladies and gentlemen. Now, before I start with the first question, let me give a little bit of background. In each question, don't worry, I'm going to give a little bit like a backstory, if you will, so you guys could understand more about the question, right? Now, for the first question, as we know, ladies and gentlemen, Malaysia is well known for its diversity culture with three major races such as Malays, Chinese, Indians, and other races too. And all of these are compacted in one motherland, and this will result in a harmonious multicultural community. Now, I think it's also important to note the natives of Peninsular Malaysia, which is Orang Asli. Now, just a little bit interesting fact about Orang Asli. Orang Asli are generally divided into three major groups, namely Negrito, Senoi, and Prota Malay. Now, as you can see, there are many races and countless ethnicities here in Malaysia. So I think it is fitting for me to call upon to hear the Malaysian voices to share their unique cultures and examples of cross-culturalisms which are in their nation. Now, Team Malaysia, are you guys there with me today?
Yeah, yes. I'm
Hello,
here.
hi. All right. Okay, the stage is yours.
Yes. Sorry, but I cannot open the cam.
I see. There's no problem. It's okay. We can hear your voice clearly.
Okay, thank you.
All
Okay,
right.
by the because you mentioned about cultures. Okay, we have a festival, traditional dance, outfits, and other most. But for me, I think the unique cultures is from the festivals. By the festivals, we can also watch the outfits and also the traditional dance. Okay, festivals we have Hari Raya or Chinese New Year, and from Malaysia we have Hari Raya, Chinese New Year, and also Deepavali for Indian. Okay, this because of these festivals always celebrated by yearly, we for me as I am a Malay people, we have celebrated Hari Raya that early this month, and then we have Chinese New Year because of we have because we have work have Mandarin gift from their college. Chinese people doesn't celebrate Chinese New Year, so because by the festivals we can also see the traditional dances. Because of the COVID-19, we can watch again these dances or because at malls or at the public area. Okay. For the important things I like about the festivals is fireworks. Because all of the festivals that are common in Malaysia is have a fireworks. This make me want to watch fireworks. Who doesn't like fireworks, right? Okay. Besides festivals, we also have the essence. different essence at different states. I'm originated in the state named Melaka, but right now I live in Pulau Pinang. So I learned a bit the Penang accent, but unfortunately I can't speak as Penang citizens talk. Okay, Melaka also have accents, but I'm not fully use Melaka accents. I speak normal Malay language. Okay, not only the different states have different accents, also the Malay, also the for Chinese they also have different accents such as Hokkien and also Mandarin. But unfortunately, I cannot differentiate the difference. So for me, these sums of the cultures that have in Malaysia. So I think that's all.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. That is well explained actually by our Malaysian team. Thank you, Malaysia, for the sharing. Now, I definitely agree. Being a Malaysian myself, it is so great how this panel really combine everything in one umbrella, which is festivals. I definitely agree. As a Malaysian, all of us celebrate festivals all out. If other countries don't know, we celebrate festivals all out. Doesn't matter if I'm Malay, I will still celebrate Deepavali all out. It is what Malaysians always do. And I definitely agree that in festivals, there are many things that definitely there are many cultures that is involved in these festivals, and we can learn a lot from the festivals alone. Now, she also mentioned about the accents. Yes, I actually myself am a Sabahan. I am originally from Sabah. However, I've been here in Selangor for so long that I have developed certain accent of, the KL accent, the Kuala Lumpur accent, if you may call it. But yeah, it is crazy how there are many different accents, festivals, foods, and all of this culture here in Malaysia. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to buckle your seatbelts because we are about to fly to the European continent for our next question. Okay, that's quite exciting, right? Now, in the European continent, we have Team UK, United Kingdom, as the representative. All right. Now, actually, ladies and gentlemen, I need to tell you guys that Team UK actually consists of Malaysians who are living in the UK. Now, before I start asking the question, right, I want to ask Team UK representative, how are you guys doing there so far away from home? Are you guys okay?
Hi everyone, I'm
Hello.
Charshni here. So we are from King's College London and we are doing so great over here. How about you guys?
Mhm. Well, it's a little bit depressing because, we have to celebrate Raya indoors, but we make do with what we have. And I think Malaysians can quickly find something to cheer them up, right? All right, Team UK. I want to ask regarding cultures and examples of cross-culturalism that you have observed in United Kingdom while you are staying there. Now the stage is yours.
Hello, my name is Chetna, and I'll be speaking about the question you just asked. So I would like to say that UK is very diverse in terms of ethnicity. And there are 6 major ethnic groups in the UK. That's white British, Asian British, or black, mixed, and other, such as Arab. And UK is also home to people from different religious backgrounds like Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism, to name a few. And since cross-culturalism recognizes different cultures and brings them to form a multicultural society, UK is very welcoming and is very friendly to people from all backgrounds, no matter what their religion, ethnicity, or background or anything. In UK, to be specific, in London, where I stay, I can find some examples like Chinatown. Chinatown is an epicenter for Asian food, and it has many restaurants, and it's the epicenter for Asian culture. And there are also Indian markets in East London where you can find all things Indian, like restaurants or cultural clothing. And UK itself has a very amazing culture and was influenced by historically Christian life. And you can find many chapels and churches, and Christmas is celebrated widely here. And not only Christmas, but also Eid and Holi and Diwali by Hinduism, like Hindu people and Muslims. So yes, I feel UK is very culturally diverse and very welcoming to all people. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, that was thank you so much. That was a nice sharing with us, Team UK. From both point of view, I think we can conclude that cross-culturalism is in fact happening all over the world. You guys are not really, I hope you guys feel that far from, because from all the examples that you gave me just now, there are actually a lot of festivals in the UK. I didn't know that actually. But then again, this is the function of our forum, right? For us to share what we experience in different countries. Now, that is amazing. There's a lot of ethnicities, religious background, and Chinatown, Indian markets, chapels. Wow, that's quite a lot. So I hope you guys don't feel, that much far from home. All right, thank you so much, Team UK. All right, let's go to our second question. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we cannot stay long in the UK because we have to fly back to Southeast Asia for our next question. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have promised you some juicy, some spicy question, right? And I am planning to keep my my word for our next question. So, our next question, it touches a little bit on the current cultural issues that have been going on all around the world. Now, besides the definition of cross-culturalism that I have mentioned in my intro, there are also another cross-culturalism definition, which is cultural exchange experience. Now, despite this definition, right, there are some people who do not appreciate this culture, and this will lead to cultural appropriation versus cultural appreciation debate, which is actually a hot debate lately. Now, what are your thoughts on this? I want to ask, how would you define cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation? And how do you differentiate between both of them? Now, the Southeast Asia country that I would like to ask this question to is Team Indonesia, aka Malaysia's sibling. Now, how are you guys doing, Team Indonesia? Are you guys there with me tonight?
Yes, Sophie, here we are.
All right.
Hello.
Okay.
Okay. I would like to answer your question. That is, what is how we define the cultural appropriation and then cultural appreciation. The first of all, we have to know what is cultural appropriation is. The cultural appropriation is a term that used when a person or a group of people use the culture or another person who is not of their ethnicity or race without permission for personal gain. There is also the opinion of Susan Scafidi from Fordham University that define it as taking intellectual property, traditional knowledge, cultural expression, or artifact from other culture without permission. This can include the unauthorized use of other cultural dance, clothing, music, language, folklore, cuisine maybe, and traditional medicine, and etc. And then we have to know that what is cultural appreciation is. The second one is cultural appreciation. The cultural appreciation is when someone seeks to understand and learn about another culture in an effort to broaden their perspective and connect with other cross culturality. So in Indonesia, the term cultural appropriation is still very foreign to the public. This is because each community in each region in Indonesia has its own cultural characteristic. And in every celebration, they always use the culture that belongs to their respective regions. However, unconsciously, there are a lot of Indonesian citizens who actually took cultural appropriation. not within the intention of taking personal advantage through the culture, but rather to show that Indonesia itself has a lot of wealth, especially culture. Judging from the number of islands and tribes alone, Indonesia has more than 14,000 islands and has more than 1,000 ethnic groups that based on the 2010 statistical census. And with this many tribes, in my knowledge, in my perspective, no one has ever blamed each other that certain group did cultural appropriation of other group. Although indeed there are not many cultural appreciation performed in Indonesia, especially among young people. This is because they think this is not an interesting activity and are more interested in Western culture. But the government as well, and also a teacher and a parents have always instilled a sense of love for the country, including their own culture from an early age in the elementary school. I think that's it for me. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Team Indonesia. Well said. That was a great answer, and I feel so much more enlightened about the confusing topic between cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation. Thanks to Team Indonesia. Now, let's hear from the nation of gorgeous islands and delicious foods. I welcome you to Team Philippines next. I want to hear, Philippines, what is your sides? What is your thoughts about cultural appropriation versus cultural appreciation? Team Philippines, the stage is yours.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. So I am Angela Hikari. So regarding of the question, we all know that culture diversity helps us recognize, appreciate, and respect individuals with myriad differences. Through interacting, we build bridges to trust and understand the ways of being. So for us, culture appreciation is something that you seek to understand and learn about others' culture in an effort to broaden their perspectives, beliefs, and connect with others culturally. Like for instance, we all know that Catholics are religious, different from other cultures in terms of norms, belief system, and religious practices. But above all those similarities, still it didn't hinder us to know and appreciate others. So appreciation is how we understand and learn about other cultures in a positive way. On the other hand, appropriation is the aspect of other cultures that we adapted with respect. It is how we use the culture of others in our own way as we engage a diverse community. Um, Diverse community across the globe. Thus, culture appropriation depicts culture diversity in a way that we blend the aspects of culture that we get and appropriate from others. Like, for instance, here in the Philippines, we have a lot of cultures which is different from each other. And to enrich those cultures, we happily accept and appreciate it through wearing their traditional clothing, accessories, and headdresses that they use for their everyday living and special occasions. So, although we see culture diversity with different problems in regards to differences, we are still able to become more flexible and adaptable to promote common good. So, to end my discussion, I would like to bear in your mind this quote of Sandy Thoma that he said, there are many cultural differences between us, but I think you'll find a lot of similarities. And that would be all.
All right. Thank you so much. That was a very fantastic sharing from both of our teams, which is Indonesia and Philippines. Now, from both of this feedback, I think that we can conclude the definition of cultural appropriation is when cultural appropriation is when people misuse other people's culture. Either they are copying the other people's culture and claim it as their own, and changing that culture into something new, changing some aspects of that culture into something new. And for cultural appreciation, it means that if someone is enjoying the celebrations, for example, actually learning and giving effort to learn about the actual culture without changing the culture whatsoever and don't claim it as their own. Now, thank you so much for both panelists. Now, for our next question, I would like to ask another beautiful country that is very rich in culture and home to Mount Fuji. I think everybody know what country that I am going to call upon, which is Japan. Now, Japan, are you guys with us tonight? Team Japan?
Yes.
Hi. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
All right. Do you want me to repeat the question?
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Sorry.
No problem. Okay, so as you may know, in Japan, we see some cultures that are integrated or linked with religion due to the assimilation of religion and culture. Now, and from what we can see from anime and Japanese movies, right? I think the belief of ancestral spirit seems to be the dominant part of Japanese spirituality. Now, do you mind sharing what are the aspects of your belief or your religion that has been adapted to become a part of your culture in Japan?
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so in Japan, if you ask Japanese people if they're religious or not, many of them would answer no. However, even though they say they have no religion, Japanese people are active in events related to religion, such as Christmas, Halloween, and New Year's visits to the shrine. In the other words, these customs are for Japanese, not religious practice. So we consider them as a culture. So in a sense, it is so that they incorporate the good points of multiple religions. Yeah, that's all.
Okay, thank you. That's really amazing to know. Thank you so much, Japan, for sharing with us all. I'm sure everyone here would love to visit Japan one day, maybe after our war with COVID is over. All right, definitely. That's very interesting, actually, when you mentioned how Japanese people is not religious, however, they are rich in culture. That is very interesting. Thank you so much. Okay. I would also like to hear from our host country, Malaysia. Now, Team Malaysia, are you guys still with me?
Yes, of course.
Okay, I hope you guys are still with me. All right. Now, the reason why I actually wanted to call upon Team Malaysia for this particular question is because, as we all know, Malaysia is also known for its religion, the freedom for religion practice. So, Team Malaysia, what are the aspects of religion that have adapted to become a part of your culture?
Okay, so Assalamualaikum and greetings to everyone. I'm Fatia. So what are the aspects of religion that have adapted to become part of my culture? So I'm going to share with you guys about some of the Malay culture which have aspects of Islam adapted into it. So Islam is the central and dominant in Malay culture. So it's mostly like we can say that the Malayness and the basis of Malay culture and identity are determined by Islam. So Islam is so ingrained in Malay life that Islamic rituals are practiced as Malay culture. Muslims and Malays are interchangeable in many daily contexts. So, okay, firstly, let's take Malay language as an example. Certain words in the Malay vocabulary comes from Arabic, which is the common language of Islamic prayer and rituals. However, there are also other words from other cultures such as Chinese, Sanskrit, Tamil, and English can also be found in the Malay language, of course. And the aspect of religion that have adapted to become part of my culture, which is the Malay culture, is eating using our right hands. So, okay, originally the Malay culture was only eating using our hands, but some of aspects of religion has been adapted into this culture, which is our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, it is sunnah to eat using our right hands. So it becomes eating with right hands. In addition, the Jawi script is also one of the Malay culture that have religion adapted into it. Jawi is literally just typical Malay language, but it's written in Jawi form, which is very similar to Arabic letters since the Arabic Jawi script arrived with the coming of Islam in the 15th century. So yeah, that were some of the aspects of religion that have adapted to become part of my culture in Malaysia.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Felicia. That was a great sharing. I am very proud of you. Now, definitely, I am a Malay myself. I am Muslim myself, right? It's pretty obvious. I definitely agree that Islam give a big impact for Malaysian culture, and I love the examples that was provided as well. I think that really helped our audience to understand more the points that was given by the panelists, which is eating using the right hands and Jawi scripts. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Team Malaysia. Now I think we can move on to our next question. I really hope our viewers are still with us today because as I've said before, I promise the scandalous question is coming. I promise you guys. All right, let's move on to this issue. This next question. All right. For this issue, for this question, it touches a little bit on the diversity and the cultural norm. Now, as the years go by, ladies and gentlemen, I think we all know, right? Society will keep on changing, and technology is also developed beyond our imagination as we are speaking right now. So I wanted to ask whether or not culture should be a part of that change. Whether or not should culture change as the years go by. Now, for this question, I would like to direct it to Team Philippines. Now, Team Philippines, are you guys there?
Hi, I hope my internet connection will cooperate.
Right.
So, allow me to introduce first. My name is Kimplek A. Abalas, and I am assigned to answer the question from the Philippines 3. So prior to the question, culture is history, and history enriches culture. Changing the patch of life brings about different trends and cultural innovation, especially in matters concerning gender, mental health, achievement, arts, and etc. However, there are culture that should remain as it is because these are reflections on how we started as society. As our world is being transformed into a more globalized community, our culture is being transformed too. We need to adapt and adjust in the new changes of our culture, but at the same time, we need to respect and preserve our traditional culture. As a student and as someone who lived 21 years on Earth, I witnessed how culture has changed, and it is really our responsibility as citizens to preserve our traditional culture. At the same time, we need to respect the new changes about it to avoid misunderstanding and the division of people. At the end of the day, I hope the famous quote that says, weak as you are divided, strong as you are united. I hope and pray that the changes in our culture will unite us people in understanding each differences. Thank you.
All right. Wow, that's a very inspirational quote to end your speech just now, your answer just now. All right, that's very interesting. Thank you so much, Team Philippines. Now, before I summarize what Team Philippines have mentioned just now, let me call upon Team UK. Now, Team UK, would you like to share your views on this topic?
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Tarashni Das, currently a student at Faculty of Social Science and Public Policy in King's College London. So for this question, I think all these aspects of the culture and heritage, including traditions, are our blessings today and a legacy for the next generation. In my opinion, I would say it's a no. Well, now the question is, why it's a no? At the end of the day, you would still prefer to preserve your culture and originality so it could be passed to the future generation. If it's not us doing this, then who would? All traditions should be preserved and practiced as they are a core element of our culture and heritage. Passing them from one generation to another is a responsibility of every citizen. And I hope you guys would agree with me with this. And some people in this era are actually trying to put up with this trend these days by just changing their cultural practices and trying to drift away from their a holistic. I would describe culture as being on spectrum between healthy and unhealthy. Healthy cultures are full of energy and productivity, whereas unhealthy cultures produce less driven individuals. So, culture, as we know it, plays a vital role in every society as it helps retain the historical memory over the ages. It can be part of a national culture as well. So, culture has been and also should be seen as an inherent contributor to the economic aspirations of a nation. Behind the economic activity, there survives a culture that sustains the economic continuity. So, basically, what I'm trying to say is culture is not just merely just a culture, but it also influences other fields, such as the economy and also development of a country. Well, in a nutshell, I'm going to summarize it basically. Uh, Culture is a basic root of any community, which gives them the ways of life. Culture teaches us to think for the whole nation, not only individually, and it provides the concept of family, nation, and also etc. So changing it in accordance with the modern era, in my personal opinion, it would be not healthy. So yeah, that's all from me.
All right. Okay. Now we're getting this forum a little bit heated up where two panelists have different opinions. Now, just in case you guys just a little bit dozed off or something because, it's quite a lengthy forum. But I think it's important for me to point out all the interesting points that was given by Philippines and also United Kingdom. Now, from panelists of Philippines, he mentioned about culture, how it is an identity. However, we need to be flexible and we have to adapt to today's norm, but still respect it. Now, this is different with Team UK, where she said it's a no. We should not change our culture despite as the years goes by, because we have to preserve the originality of the culture, the core elements, and it is important for us to pass our culture on to other generations. Now, it's also interesting that Panelist UK point out there's two types of culture, which is healthy and unhealthy culture. That is very interesting. Thank you so much for being that into light. I never think to view culture in that way. Thank you so much. But I think both point of view have definitely have the same message, which is culture. Culture is an identity that we need to preserve and we need to respect. Now, let's go on to the fifth question. Now, for this fifth question, this is a little bit more interesting. This is an open question where people, anyone of you guys can answer this question. All right. As we all know, cross-culturalism does bring some benefits to the countries and to the nation. Now, how far do you think that cross-culturalism plays a role in building good relationships among the multiracial society? Now, would anyone like to share their thoughts on this? Oh, before we go ahead, you guys can ask me to repeat the question again, just in case it wasn't clear, right? Because we're doing this, on the internet. There's going to be some bumps on the road. All right. Any takers? Are you guys there? Am I talking alone? Okay, maybe I was going too fast a little bit on the question. Let me slow down and let me explain to you guys what is my question, all right? So basically, I was asking, cross-culturalism, right? It does give a positive impact towards a society, towards a country, right? However, I wanted to know how big is that impact towards people in those society, in those multiracial society? Is it that big? And in terms of what does cross-culturalism affect those society? So any takers at all before I call upon a random country?
May I?
Yeah, sure. Just tell me where you're from.
Okay, so my name is Eldin. I'm from Indonesia. So I think that culture, like the from cross culture, because they have far about the multicultural society. Like it's more about how they feel about each other, because in society we not live alone. So basically, just we cannot live alone. So but day by day we can make each other friends. Also, I think that cultural cross culture is make our experience and also curiosity about this other, so we can learn about each other and that make more friendship each other. So I'm curious about these cultures. I want to ask them how they do about this culture. So it can make a friendship. It can also majority like the friendship about cross culture is more high and more tight beside of their have same culture basically. So because like they can remember each other, they can make friendship more tight like that. I think like my opinion is from like that.
All right, that was a good point, Team Indonesia. I definitely agree that cross-culturalism does give an impact in terms of friendships, right? We do have friends from different cultures, and it actually makes us much more tighter with each other because we are different, but then somehow we find a way to be united together, become friends, right? Let's have another representative in this forum to share their views on how cross-culturalism actually impacts the society in the multiracial society. So sorry. Any takers? Basically just the same question.
I would like to go.
All right, sure. Where are you from?
I'm Kuka and I'm from Malaysia.
All right, to Malaysia, let's go. Okay, the stage is yours.
So the question is, what's the benefits of cross-culturalism? So as for Malaysia, we are well known for our diversity because in primary school or when you enter university itself, you have the opportunities to mingle with other races of people where you would learn something new from other races. Because what I feel, when you expose to something new from other people, you would have the respect towards them. So what I felt when I learned new culture from other peoples, for example, Chinese, Malays, natives, the respect towards the culture increased in me, and I started to respect, believe some of the cultures in other people's culture, and at the same time, I got something new. And the bond, there's no barrier between me and other races people. When I got to know their new cultures, and yeah, I can widen my knowledge regarding their cultures by getting know other people's culture. So that's my opinion.
All right, indeed. Okay, thank you so much, Team Malaysia. I definitely agree how how people with multiracial friendship definitely widen our knowledge. Now, thank you so much to all speakers for the great sharing. However, I would like to announce that we will be taking a 5-minute break. So please ensure that all the participants and the speakers to enter the Zoom meeting room sharp at 9 p.m. Okay, guys, just 5 minutes for you guys to just drink some water or something. Now, you guys have to be sharp here at 9, all right? Because we have a plane to catch back to Indonesia for our next question. Your understanding and cooperation are highly appreciated. Thank you. Right, okay. Greetings and welcome back, everyone. I hope you guys are back because we will continue our forum now. I hope you guys have taken the advantage of the 5-minute break wisely because, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to proceed to the second part of our forum. Now, the second part of our forum is where the serious questions come in. So please keep your ears open, eyes peeled on the screen because we are reaching the most anticipated part of our forum, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So in the past 5 questions, right, I only touch on the good side of cross-culturalism. Now, probably let's change the perspective a little bit. Let's change, let's stop seeing cross-culturalism in a positive light. Maybe change it into a negative light, right? Because as we know, ladies and gentlemen, everything in life, there is pros and cons. There is the positive side, there's a negative side, there's pretty, there's ugly. So same goes to cross-culturalism. Despite the good sides of cross-culturalism, I am sure there are misunderstandings regarding this issue that can arise. Now, so my question is for Team Indonesia. Now, Team Indonesia, are you guys here with me?
Can you hear my voice? Hello? Can you hear my voice?
Sure. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I cannot open my video because my signal doesn't allow at this time.
Hello? Team Indonesia?
Suaraku nggak kedengaran. Masuk. Can you hear my voice?
Dengaran kok tadi.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear your voice.
All right, I guess Team Indonesia is not back from the break. It's okay. Let me open this question. It means that any of you guys can answer this question. So just let me know if you guys want me to repeat the question.
Sorry. Hello. Sorry.
Hello.
My friend from Indonesia, she already talk in this room. Can you hear she?
We can hear.
All right, can you hear my voice?
Yes.
Sophie, can you hear it?
Hello?
Hello, Sophie.
All right, okay, I'm so sorry. There's some technical issues. I'm so sorry. Okay, are you Team Indonesia?
Yes, I'm from Indonesia.
Okay, let me just repeat the question again. Let's start back again. I'm so sorry, guys. All right, so as I've mentioned before, we have only touched on the good sides, right, of the cross-culturalism. So maybe let's change the perspective towards a much more negative light. Not because we are trying to find the fault in cross-culturalism, not at all, but we are trying to acknowledge if there is some cons or there is some downside of cross-culturalism that affect our society. Now, Team Indonesia, I want to ask you. I would like to ask you about the misunderstandings that occurs due to cross-culturalism.
All right, but I'm so sorry because I cannot open my camera because my signal doesn't allow at this time.
It's okay. It's okay. The stage is yours.
All right, I will answer the question. Misunderstanding between cultures within a country and with origin countries often occur because of this different understanding. For example, difference in language that can occur often for those who cannot understand the language of other cultures. This is what can lead to misunderstandings that lead to unwanted problems. One of the conflicts that can arise is disintegration, because making a conversation or communication with one another can achieve both unity and also problem too. That's why we should learn and respect other cultures, of course, by encouraging education about culture. And also we need to give some appreciation for other culture so as to reduce misunderstanding and prevent problems. That's all from me. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. That's a good point, but I will summarize the points at the end. But for now, let's get this forum a little bit heated up because I would like to open this question to anyone that want to share their thoughts about the misunderstandings that actually has caused by cross-culturalism. So any takers, everyone can answer this question. Okay. If there is no takers, maybe I should call upon someone since you guys are so shy to share your guys' knowledge. So let me call upon Arya. Arya from Team Indonesia. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, can you answer the question, please? What is the misunderstandings that occur in your country?
Okay. Some of the misunderstanding that often arise because of cross-culturalism are the behavior of blaming each other because between cultures don't understand other cultures. There are many factors that can cause this to happen, including the first one is lack of interest from citizens to learn about their own culture and the culture of others. That is the first one. And the second one is lack of direction from the other people, especially parents, to provide knowledge to their children about the meaning of culture that has been practiced in everyday activity. And the third one is the differences in the language, like what Via from my team said before. There are different language from each region, which is usually cause of misunderstanding and become an important factor in conveying information to others because we know that each region, even each country has a different language. As a result, if we do not understand and do not try to learn the language, there will be a lot of possible misunderstandings so that it is not uncommon for us to create new conflicts related to cross-culturalism. I think that is for me. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you so much, Arya. Now, I'm so sorry, there was some technical problem that I have to close my camera. All right, I think definitely agree that misunderstandings of cross-culturalism actually occur when they don't really fully understand, or they don't even put an effort to understand other people's culture. That will actually increase the amount of cases that might occur some misunderstanding about cross-culturalism. Now, let's go to the seventh question, ladies and gentlemen. Apart from cross-culturalism being a platform to build good relationships among the multiracial society, some challenges may arise. And I believe that there are other pros and cons of cross-culturalism that we might just left out. So I would like to ask, this is another open question, what are the other pros and cons of cross-culturalism? Now, which team would like to share their opinions first? All right, guys, you guys better answer my question or else I'm going to just call random names.
I would like to try again.
Okay, now you guys want to answer? Okay, who am I talking to?
Kuka from Malaysia again.
All right, okay, hi. All right.
Hello, so I'm Kuka, so I'm from Malaysia. So let's pros and cons of cross-culturalism. I would like to talk about the weddings, weddings between two different races, where first they might be cornered by their own family. Maybe the family doesn't want to accept their marriage, so maybe they're cornered by their own family. Second, they thought there would be some sort of crossing between religions. They might bring they might assume the religion is being crossed, but you can, you cannot, decide that cross-culturalism is not necessarily a cross, religions are being crossed. So that's one of the false assumptions by the community. Third, they might assume that the language, the language's priority will be affected through the cross-culturalism, where different languages will be crossed and it will form a new language, which they might assume it's not accurate and not pure. So these are some, I would say it's a cons of cross.
Hello?
Yeah, that's all from me.
Okay. All right, you actually got cut off at the end. Do you want to rephrase back your last sentence?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I stopped. I think I stopped. My last point was cross between languages of different races of the language. Korea's bahasa campur. In the original language. So originality of the language will be affected through the cross-culturalism. So these are some false assumptions of community in Malaysia.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Team Malaysia. I see some good points there, but I want to I want to ask any other countries to share some of the pros and cons of cross-culturalism that you might know based on your observation or even your own experience.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Can I try?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, I cannot open my camera because of the signal. My internet is unstable, but I'm from the Philippines. I'm Nicole. I just want to share some pros and cons of the cross-culturalism. For me, first, another pro or advantage of cross-culturalism is that it empowers minority groups because in terms of cross-culturalism, when people meet, there are also a lot of my members of minority groups will present there, and this platform or the way of cross-culturalism allow them to share their culture, which is very good because some of the global scenario, and when there's a cross-cultural events or cross-culturalism occur, the minority groups can be allowed to be empowered and share their culture. And for the disadvantages, one of it will be stereotypes. It's very common, and I already observe it because some people will really, when we meet our different cultures will meet each other, they will already stick to stereotypes and will think of those stereotypes be a real deal about someone's culture, because we cannot avoid that, and that's one of the disadvantages. And also, so there will be misunderstandings that might arise in terms of cross-culturalism because it's other, and we cannot avoid that, and we cannot stop that because some may be offended because they don't. And another one is the what do you call that, the language barriers, specifically the nonverbal language, because there's a lot of nonverbal languages or nonverbal gestures that is different from each other. For example, the nod of one's country means yes and the other country means no, and in that way there will be
misunderstanding will occur because they don't have the same meaning. So it may arise some conflicts in the future if that will be occurred in the scenario, if someone will meet with that kind of or someone will do that kind of gesture, it's not the same meaning with the other person that he's talking.
All right. Much for the teams who
Recording in
culture eat
progress.
this food, it really increased our tolerance. As for the cons, well, that's actually a lot of cons that I did not expect for our panelists to bring today. But then again, this is the benefits of forum, everyone. No, no, I'm so sorry. One of the cons that was mentioned by Team Malaysia was bahasa campur or bahasa rojak. It means that how Malaysians, we like to combine 3 different languages into one. That is who we are because we are so used to having all the races live together, right? So it kind of like become one. So the originality of our language, our original language is tainted, definitely. And Team Philippines mentioned about stereotypes, about people getting offended because their beliefs are not the same. And the languages, of course, there's a lot of cons actually. And Team Philippines did a very great job of explaining it. So I don't think so I have to explain it again. Now let's go to our 8th question, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, our forum is about to come to an end because the 8th question is going to be our second last question. Now, let me just give some background for this question. In society, consisting of people from different walks of life, background and culture, moving together as a one unit can possibly become quite challenging. Now, because each and every one of us are uniquely different. However, it is undeniable that throughout time, society has learned to accept each other. As a result, we have created a harmonious environment. So I would like to ask this question to our team in United Kingdom. So Team UK, are you guys still with me?
Yeah, hey, it's me again.
All right, okay. I wanted to ask about your thoughts on how diversity and cross-culturalism is accepted in the UK. If you can rate it out of 10, what is the rate of the acceptance of cross-culturalism in UK?
Say it's a 9.
All right.
Because, okay, let me explain it. Why am I saying it's a 9? So it's a well-known fact that UK is a Commonwealth country, which is culturally diverse, like ever since the beginning. So yes, people in UK are very welcoming and accommodating towards the acceptance of cross-culturalism among the society. The UK is actually oozing with multicultural diversity. Cross-culturalism has been a part of UK ever since the 90s. UK continues to blend its rich cultural heritage. You are guaranteed to find your people and food and also shops from all over the world sharing their food and way of life. Let me highlight a few examples here. As Chetna said, Chinatown, which is located in the core of London, is a place where you can go for Asian delicacies, and East Ham. This is my personal favorite place. Is a place filled with Indianized vibes where you can find temples, restaurants, Indian grocery stores. So the people in UK largely celebrated National Student Hub. Well, this is where I'm living in right now, London. Statistics shows that total number of international students in UK is currently around 500,000 as of 2020. So I feel UK has a high acceptance of cross-culturalism among this society, and it wouldn't be a challenge for a person to adapt in this country. Well, it wasn't a challenge for me because the people over there are really humble and kind. So yeah, that's all from me. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Team UK. 9 out of 10, huh? That's quite high, actually. I actually don't know that UK have Chinatown, Indian groceries, and all of that because I'm not really familiar with how UK is doing in terms of celebrating other people's culture. But then again, this is what the forum is for. And now you mentioned how Team UK is very it's very flexible to accept other people's culture. It's kind of like giving me a hint that I probably should further my studies there. Maybe pray for me, all right? Now let's ask Team Japan. Team Japan, UK Tauka, are you still here with me?
Yeah.
All right. Now,
Hi.
can you rate the acceptance of cross-culturalism in your nation?
Okay, so hi, I'm Yuki from Japan. Many people are interested in different cultures in society. So however, most of them have difficulty to communicate in English and are a little reluctant to talk to people from other countries. So this is because Japan is an island nation and there are very few opportunity to interact with people from other countries. However, if the language barrier can be removed, Japanese people are willing to learn about foreign cultures. For example, many people watch foreign dramas and movies with subtitles, such as Netflix, Amazon Prime, and so on. And foreign food culture is very widely accepted here. So I feel that Japanese people have favorable view of the acceptance of cross-culturalism among the society, except linguistic programs. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Yuki from Team Japan. Now we have a better understanding on how this cross-culturalism is perceived by society in different countries. Now, for the ninth question, which is our last question, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry if this forum is not going that well, but I promise you I'm trying my hardest here. Now, I think learning and getting to know different cultures in society and other countries is indeed definitely amazing, right? And I think by having this forum, we can get to understand them better and also create a good relationship, which can eventually create a harmonious environment. However, in the process of us getting to learn other cultures, some of our actions actually might be insensitive or inappropriate, either accidentally or purposely. Now, maybe our forum members here can share what is the guidelines, what is the do's and don'ts when you want to learn about other people's culture, so you would not, offend their people. Now, I would like to direct this question to Team Malaysia, our host country. Team Malaysia, would you mind sharing the best way to learn and experience a new culture without offending its people?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, clearly.
Okay. Thank you to our pretty Miss Moderator. Hi, hello everyone, and Assalamualaikum to my Muslim mates. I am Fatini, a representative from UKM 8, and I'll try to answer the question the way I understand it. Okay, so the question is basically about what is the best way to learn and experience new culture without offending people, right? So first thing first, I am going to explain briefly yet knowledgeable enough on how to learn other culture in the best way, and then I am going to explain one thing that we must not do in learning other cultures so that we don't offend the particular race. So as we all know, Malaysia is a multicultural country where we have quite various culture here, and all the culture are very interesting indeed. So most people might say the best way to learn about other culture is by traveling, but not for me because I'm damn broke. Therefore, in my opinion, the best way is by having friends that are from different culture. So from my research, basically there are three basic ways in which culture is learned. So the first thing is observation. Next is listening and asking questions. Observation is a very basic skill, but we are often lazy with what we observe, so we fail to notice important details. Next is listening. There are cultural things that I can learn through the sound that I hear, through listening to people talk and hearing the contents of their interaction. So basically that is how I learn other culture, by listening. And the clearest one is asking question. You guys can just go and tell them the reasons why you have come and ask them if they would be willing to talk with you about the topic when would it be convenient with them. Okay, going back to the first point that I mentioned earlier, which is having friends from different culture, we can apply these basic ways. And of course, if our friends from different culture is nice enough, we can experience the culture itself. Next, when we learn about other culture, we must not downgrade their culture. Do not ever compare our culture with theirs in a bad way. This is because every culture has its own uniqueness. Even though we are trying to tell that our culture is the best, downgrading other culture will never be okay. This is due to there are no ranking among the culture that existed in the world. Every culture has its own attraction. So we must respect other people's culture the way we want them to respect ours. And bear in mind that every point that I mentioned are not valid only for Malaysians, but also to all the races around the world. I think I answered the question enough. So to sum up, the best way to learn other culture without offending its people is by having friends from other culture and never downgrade the culture. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for the fantastic sharing, Team Malaysia. That was very insightful and definitely helpful for us all if we want to learn about other people's culture. Now, let's just summarize what she mentioned, which is the do's that you can do if you want to learn about other people's culture is by traveling and having people or having friends from different culture by observing, listening, and asking questions. All right. And for the don'ts, of course, I agree that we shouldn't downgrade other people's culture, even though we are very proud, right, about our own culture. But it's important to note that each culture is unique. Each culture is different in its own way. Now, I would like to check up on Team Indonesia. Team Indonesia, are you still there?
Yes, we are still here.
Okay. You sound so sad. Don't be sad.
No,
I promise the question.
it is just my sound like this.
All right. Okay. Now, Team Indonesia, I would like to ask you, would you like to share some of the ways on how people should respectfully learn and experience other people's culture without offending its people?
Okay. So the first thing is what we have to do. Of course, we have to study our own culture first, and that's why we can understand the essence or value that exists in our respective cultures. And the second one is also try to get to know or even learn about the culture of other religions or other region, other country, even this also function that we know what the true meaning of the culture. Learning will be provoked if there is a misunderstanding by someone about our respective cultures. And the fourth, become a person who has an open mind to all things, including about this cross-culturalism. And then take advantage of social media to introduce other people to what cultures we have in their respective countries. And the last one is holding more knowledge sharing activities about the culture of each country in international forum like we did tonight. By holding this kind of forum, it is hope that it can open people's mindset to be more open in understanding each other culture. I think that's it for me. Thank you, Sophie.
All right, thank you so much, Team Indonesia. I like it how he uh, I'm so sorry. Out of all the to point out where he mentioned about lowering our ego. Now, people, I myself, right? I really like to learn about other people's culture. I really like to learn accent, especially. I really like to learn other people's accent. I could do multiple of them, but certain people they don't really understand how to do it. So sometimes they say it wrong. For the accent, sometimes they say it wrong. For the native speakers or the native speakers should lower their ego. Like, okay, we have to understand that they are learning, right? They are learning, so we have to help them every step of the way instead of being so defensive when people want to learn about your culture. And of course, we have to use social media, like I've mentioned before about TikTok. Other social media platform is also useful, like YouTube, for example, where you could see vlogs of people from all over the world. They are, videotaping their countries, visiting national parks and all of that. And you can see their national parks through their eyes using that YouTube video. And by just using social media, just one click away, you can learn about other people's culture. Now, thank you so much, Team Indonesia and Team Malaysia, for that fantastic sharing. Now, since we have some quite time left, actually, I would like to call upon Team India. Zarif from Team India, are you guys there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, Zarif,
Can you hear
I
me?
want to ask. Yep, clearly. I want to ask you, Zarif, what can you conclude from the forum? Because I want to know if our forum actually gave a positive impact towards the panelists and also the viewers. What's your thoughts on this forum, basically?
From this forum. Okay, the panelists have given us many great points regarding our culture, because for me, culture defines what race are you from, And when we blend those cultures, it's like metaphorically carrying a wall between those two races and then merging them to be a better, much more, how to put it, a much more cohesive unit of society. So from the points given by our panelists, I think that there's a lot of pros from instilling cross-culturalism in a nation instead of cons. So, should I add more? Or is it?
Oh, it's okay. It's up to you. Is that all?
Yeah, I think that's all for me.
Okay.
Because I haven't much to say.
All right.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Zarif. Now, thank you, Team India, for answering my question. I would like to also ask the same question to probably Team Philippines. Angela, what is it? I'm so sorry if I'm butchering your name. I'm so sorry. Team Philippines, are you there?
Yes.
All right. So basically, just the same question.
Can you hear me?
Yep, clearly. Now, I just wanted to ask, what do you think about this forum? What is the outcome that you can collect from this forum?
I think this forum is very knowledgeable, especially that we are talking about cross-culturalism. For me, it is very sensitive since our topic is about culture, and we all know that culture is very sacred or very sensitive topic that we say. But in this forum, I learned that especially now in the Zoom meeting, we have there are Muslims. We have we are different. We are different from each other, and learning those the knowledge that they shared. I learned that accepting and respecting other culture is always be accepted by by us, by individuals, because if we love our own culture and if we love others' culture, we may achieve a harmonious society or harmonious world that we may achieve sometimes in the future. I think that's be all for me.
All right. Thank you, to Philippines. So, are you guys nervous answering my question? Now you guys know how I feel. All right. Let's call upon Chaitanya from Team UK. Chaitanya, are you there?
Yep.
All right. So, just same question. What is your thoughts on this forum?
So I learned about many cultures, and I feel like the key to multicultural society is to accept each other's differences and be welcoming to each other's cultures. So yeah, I feel.
All right. Thank you so much, Chaitanya. Okay, the last one. I promised the last one. I know you guys are tired of me. Let's call Kuka from Malaysia. Team Malaysia. Are you there? You better be. Or anyone from Team Malaysia can answer. Kuka, are you there? Fatiha, maybe?
Yeah. Can you
All
repeat the
right.
question?
Okay. What is your thoughts on this forum? What do you get from this forum, basically?
What is my?
What did you get from this
I
forum?
can't hear you.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Maybe not a bit loud. Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. The stage is yours.
I mean, it's due to my connection, I guess. Yeah. Can you repeat the question again? Sorry.
It's okay. What do you think about this forum? What can you get out of this forum?
Okay, I got it. Okay, so yeah, I'm from Malaysia and I'm used to this term called cross-culturalism, diversity. So by getting into this forum, I learned new views from peoples because I don't even know what people out there from other countries like Indonesia or India would have. I mean, what's their opinion? What's their point of view? How they are looking at this issue? So I know a lot of things regarding their issue, regarding their point of view on this cross-culturalism. So their point of view is quite nice and acceptable in some way. But the main point, everybody has its own uniqueness, which everybody should acknowledge and should respect.
All right. Is that all? I think that's all.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Thank you so much, Team Malaysia. Now, it looks like our time has run out. Actually, ladies and gentlemen, as I've said before, that will be our last question for this forum. Now, before we really end on this forum, I would like to express my gratitude for all the participants, countries involved in this forum. And another thing that I want to say is that I want to apologize for the very obvious nervousness of me running this forum. This is my first time being a moderator, and this is quite a big event, right? But I really hope that me being a very terrible moderator, I hope that I still could create those cultural bridges. And I also hope that all of our viewers also soak up all the information that was given by all of our panelists for tonight. Now, before we really end our forum, I would like to ask the participants and the presenter to open your webcam and camera for our photography session. Now, can you guys do that for me? Yes, just open your camera. We're going to take some pictures. All right. Okay. Oh, I just opened the chat. You guys are so cute.
Siapa ambil gambar?
Okay, you guys ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, next page. 1, 2, 3. Okay, next page. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, the next page. 1, 2, 3. Okay, freestyle, please. 1, 2, 3. Next page. 1, 2, 3. Next page, freestyle. 1, 2, 3. Okay, next page. 1, 2, 3. Okay, the last page. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's all.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Let me finish this outro. Okay. I think that my apology is not that. I just want to again apologize if I made any mistakes. I'm sorry if I'm taking a little bit more of your time apologizing, but thank you so much for staying with me throughout this forum. Now, thank you to all participants. Before we leave the meeting room, please make sure to fill in the checkout Google form that is shared in front of your screen in the chat box to complete your registration. Now, again, I just would like to remind only UKM students who are not the participants are required to scan the QR code. Now, with this, I, your horrible moderator, Sophie, would conclude our HICE forum, Cross-Culturalism, What is Inside the World has come to its end, finally. Okay, thank you so much and have a nice day, you beautiful people. All right, bye-bye.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. Before we end, you can hold on the music a bit. Okay, thank you so much, Sophie. So before we end, I would like to add on a bit. After this will be our second forum. So after this, we will have global classes exchange on 3 June and 4 June. So that will be much more, we are going to blend ourselves into other culture as well. So the first day, the Malaysian team, we are going to teach you guys our language, our culture, and you guys are going to apply it in the class directly, right? But on the second day, the Indonesians, the Philippines, the Japanese people, and what else? Yeah, few other countries, you guys are going to teach us, the Malaysian people. So we are going to apply the culture, the knowledge that we have learned from Forum 1 and Forum 2, and we are going to do that in class. Okay, it's a fun class, it's a fun session, it's a hands-on session, so it's going to be fun.
Recording stopped.
Okay, so that is on 3 and 4 June, and after this, from 24 May until 31st May, for registered participants, you guys will undergo the Global Treasure Hunt series.